It's the Soul Fantasy Show, Soul Fan Show. Hey, it's the Soul Fantasy Show live for June 30th, 2021. Going over the top picks, plays, and studs for Draftkings and Fanduels. If you already haven't, please subscribe to this channel. On top, we have the Soul Stud of the Day, Paul George. He had a 72 last time. He's really stepping his game up. And he will continue to. He's $12,000. He's getting 1.29 fantasy points per minute. He's had 40 minutes. He is going to hit 5 times value. Next up, he's an 81 on the DD mark. Next up, we have Chris Paul getting 1.24 fantasy points per minute. Projected at 42 fantasy points, 1.24 fantasy points per minute. He's getting about 35 minutes per game. He had a 37, 34, and a 43 his last 3. He is 9,600. Now, you have to keep an eye on Zubac. He wound up not playing last game, which could have hurt your lineups if you didn't keep track of that, because he was out at the very last minute. Most likely he's questionable. He might be out again. He may be out again. He didn't get any fantasy points. Then under him, you have DeMarcus Cousins, 24, 1, 0, 2, 19. So that 24 really worked out with his 11 minutes. He's 71 on the DD, 1.36 fantasy points per minute. He's projected at 17.42. Now you have the stud options. Ayton, he had 36 minutes and he had 30 fantasy points. But before that, he had 61 fantasy points. So he did really good 2 games ago. Is he going to do good? I'm pretty sure he will. He probably will. He's 8,800. Now Booker only had 45, 29, 29, 30. So this series, he has struggled every game this series, and he's projected at 42 fantasy points. He could turn it up. Eventually, he's going to turn it up and have a monster game. Could this game be the monster game? It really could be. It could be. Marcus Morris Sr. is 4K. He had 38 minutes. He is getting 0.82 fantasy points per minute, projected at 21, projected 5.3 times value, so his value is high. He's the Soul Sleeper of the Day, Marcus Morris Sr. So we should just throw him in because, his value is pretty high. Now you have Mikal Bridges. He only had 10 last time. He's expensive for 10. So, here's his prices. He only had 10 fantasy points. That's pretty upsetting. Really upsetting. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. He's 6,600. 27 minutes. And only 10 fantasy points. He's definitely not getting a fantasy point per minute there. You can try him out. He's 6,600. That's pretty affordable. Now, he's going to do something sooner or later. Now you have Johnson, who scored 25. He's turning into a good value. He's 3,600. He had 25. So here it says 4.6 times value. 40% chance at 5 times value. So if he gets 20 to 25 fantasy points, you'll be all right for 3,600. Now, Batum is only 3K because he has been getting in the teens the last 3, 15, 13, 13, 6, and a 25. He's getting a lot of minutes, so it just isn't working out for him, I guess. He just isn't getting shots. He's not getting assists. He's just on the court running up and down, up and down. He's only 3K, though, and if he gets 20 fantasy points for 3,000, that's worth throwing in. Sarge, 2,400, not doing it for us. Payne, Not doing it. Since that 53, he's only had 4, 14, and 12. He had 32 before that, so he isn't turning on the Jets. Jackson is, though. He had 37. He's 8,200. He's on fire the last game, so hopefully he keeps that flame going with his 38 minutes and continues the flame. Now, there's Jay Crowder, 18, 14, 18. He's 5,400, and he's played 27 minutes. Beverly, 19, 10, 22, 16, and 8. 4,600. 30 minutes. These guys are getting the minutes. They're getting the minutes. Rondo, nothing. He hasn't scored a fantasy point in basically 4 games. He scored 0, 0, and 1 his last 3. So he's a full fade. I wouldn't dare put Rondo in. It would be problematic if you put Rondo in. You will not score any fantasy points and just mess your lineup up. Now, 5 games ago, he'd definitely be worth that 1,400, 25, and 19. But I don't see him doing that. Now, Jay Shrubs, all goose eggs. Torrey Craig, 8, 7, 8, 0. Has not been able to break 10 for 1K. Luke Kennard can't get out of the single digits either. Terrence Mann is 5,000. He can't break out of past 23. He can't crack 25. He's 5K. He's going to get 18 fantasy points projection. 0.82 fantasy points per minute. He's projected 18. Alright, so here's the rest of the guys. Now here's the classic mode. For the 2-game slate, you have Giannis. He's 11,200. 59, 49, 71. Bobby Portis and Trae Young will not take the court for the Hawks. This could be a problem. Now, not having Trae Young, he's a problem. Portis, Holiday, Capella, those are guys you can think about. Now, if you're playing the classic, Chris Paul. Alright, so you have Cam Reddish again. He didn't do anything, so I'd probably fade him out. John Collins does pretty good. Middleton does great. 65 his last attempt. Leonardo, 27, 15, and ton. Brook Lopez didn't do too good. He only had 18 fantasy points. He's 5,000. He's not paying off. If he gets to 24.6, it'll be about 5 times value. He'll probably hit 5 times value. He's 5K. So throw him in there. Kevin Herter, Pat Cunningham, Lou Williams. See them. All right, let's go over the classic lineups. Classic for FanDuel. Single game for FanDuel. I got George in there. Zubac, you have to be careful. He might not play. They're putting him in every lineup. George, Booker, Paul, Payne, and Cousins. It's a nice looking lineup right there. Booker, Paul, Jackson, Morris, and Cousins. It's for FanDuel. The Draftkings, what they're all about. Ayton, Zubac, George, Cousins, Kel, Morris. And we will get on the Yahoo Fantasy. At least there's another game. It's nice. Will the Clippers be eliminated, or will it go 3-3? We'll see. Yahoo Fantasy. The NBA. The slate will be Phoenix. Alright, so let's go. So I'm gonna go Paul George, obviously. I'm just gonna go Booker again. My star is gonna be Ayton's 30. I can fit all these guys in. I can fit everybody in. It's easy to fit guys in today. That's easy to fit in. Easy to get that in there. Easy. Okay. Let's try. You can do dollars. You win 100 for first place. If you think you can get that. So, I'm going to go George, obviously. I'm going to go Booker. This time I'm going to go Paul. Because I can fit Jackson and Bridges in. I'm going to not think too much about Zubac. So, I'm not going to be on him today because he pretty much screwed us yesterday, 2 days ago. But maybe I'll go Booker. Booker has to have a good game sooner or later. You can go. If you go all the way down, well, we'll go try Paul. Go all the way down. We go here. There's no real point in putting him in there. If you want to try Crowder, he's 17. So, and do this. Try one like that. Try George, Paul, Booker. Booker hasn't been doing too great. Morris. Then you have 25. Now, if you go like this, you can get all these studs in there. Pray Sarge gets 15. Pray he gets 15. Now we can try it again like this. One more with Sarge. Ding, 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 ding. Bang. You can get him in if you're playing Sarge. It's if you're playing Sarge. No, 1, 2, Ayton, Paul, and Sarge. I would just go Sarge there. Those are our Sarge lineups. Alright? It's the Soul Fantasy Show. Soul Fan Show.